Hey guys! Hi, I'm here. I'm here. I made it before the new episode airs on Sunday. So this is my recap of 90 Day Fiancé. Oh, let me do my whole intro. Hey guys, it's Wahima, but just call me Wah. Melanated! Welcome to my recap of 90 Day Fiancé Happily Ever After Season 5, Episode 6, Ultimatums and Ugly Truths. Hi, everybody. I'm going to let everybody get into the room. I'm going to take off my Wi-Fi so that it doesn't disrupt. Just going to do a quick little chit-chatter with you guys while we get people in the room. Should I put this, like, hey, I'm live streaming. How do I find the link? I've done it before. Maybe I just take this. Ugh, girl, she doesn't know. Hi, Aspasia. If anyone knows how to take this link, you can go ahead and put it in Vanity Fair or put it how do I even do this? You know what I'm saying? I wanted to, is this share? Yes, I found it. Okay. Copy. I'm going to go to Vanity Fair and put it in there, and then I'll put it in Just Call Me Wah too. And if you want to talk about it on Instagram, please do let the people know. Let's get to Facebook. How's everybody doing? I hope you guys are well. This was a good episode. It was mainly the Andrei and Libby show, but it needed to be that, right? Because Andrei, he was doing a lot. He was doing a lot this week. But I feel like that's their relationship. And I low-key don't want to judge it because we're just seeing it from a certain perspective, right? We can't just judge their whole entire marriage based on the drama that gets put on television for our entertainment. You feel me? You feel me? You know what I'm saying? But there was some real drama. Okay, so let me put it. Hey guys, live on, this is in Vanity Fair, live on YouTube. Great. Okay, post. Now, I'm going to go into Just Call Me Wah and put it in there too. Okay, that's a group. Visit this group that I don't visit. Hey, I'm live. Post. Okay. Let's get back to you guys. Oh, there you are. All right. Okay, we've got 67 or 70 people in the room, 26 likes. Let's get some thumbs up, and then we're going to get started. We are 3 minutes into this live, so, if you want to mark it down below, people minutes after she starts. She starts in 3 minutes. Let me push play. Let me take off the volume, and then push play again. I just had to give myself some, refresher in what happened on Sunday. Okay, so let's start off with our first couple that we see, and that is Colt and Jess. And I hate the fact that Colt gets such poppy music as though he's somebody who's moderately cool. The drama between Jess and Debbie is really what brings us back for him. But honestly, Larissa, I don't think Larissa should be on this show. I am not interested in anything that she has to say. If she's not with Colt, it's not interesting. And I think Colt being with Jess and Debbie stirring the pot is pretty interesting. Okay, so we're hot off the heels of Debbie having a complete temper tantrum / meltdown because she's tired. And Jess and Colt have gotten a new room, and now they have gone to dinner where Colt really tries to speak Portuguese. And it's interesting, to say the least. And then him and Jess start a conversation where Jess starts to mime / give sound effects for everything she's talking about. And I just want a time where she talks and doesn't make sex sounds. It's just crazy. So he's making excuses for Debbie, saying that she was tired and that she wasn't being mean to her, that she was just over the entire situation, and his mother's not a mean person. But in his confessionals, Colt is admitting that Debbie might be messing this up for him, and bringing her along on this trip, he knew it could be a 50-50 chance that she was going to act a bloody fool, and that unfortunately she is acting a fool. So he's trying to convince Jess that everything is okay, that she doesn't need to worry, that this is something that is just temporary because she was tired. And Jess is like, you getting room with mother while we're trying to have it eat sexy, and like, I'm just like, girl, like, we don't need any of the sound effects. It's just, she's like, girl, okay, we're good. We are 100% swervy curvy, okay? We don't need the sound effects of you describing how you and Colt have sex. And then he says, well, it's my mother, I have to be with her. And basically Jess is like, did you want her to come? And Colt's like, well, yeah, she's have to take care of her, she's my mother. And Jess is like, you're a baby man. And he gets upset. He's like, that's not fair. That's not a fair thing to say, because you and I are in the same position. We both lost a parent. And Jess is like, well, did you? Oh, Amanda, thank you. Thank you for the super chat, Amanda. I appreciate it. So Jess is like, oh, okay, did your mother die of cancer? Or did your father die of cancer? And Colt is like, no, it was a heart attack. And I was just like, is she trying to say that, like, I at first thought she was trying to say that, like, your father died of a heart attack, which is different than dying of cancer. More so, like, I don't know. Maybe I read into it too much, but a little bit of me was like, is she trying to say that, like, a heart attack is something that he brought onto himself because of, like, unhappy or unhealthy dietary or, like, behavior, like, lifestyle, whereas cancer is something that just happens upon people? But I think I just read into it too much. And so maybe she just didn't actually know how Colt's father had passed away, and so was just trying to make that connection. And then she's like, yeah, you're right. We both lost a parent. And so he's like, Debbie may not be the best, but she's mine. And I was just like, this is a fucking episode of Smothered, you guys. Like, it really, honestly, truly, earnestly is. Oh my God. Thank you so much, Quasi. Welcome, Mickey, that's your name. And then Lindsay, hey girl. No, you're not late. You're fine. So hi, Esther. Hi, Felicie, the sheep girl. Okay, so let's get back. Just saying hello to everybody in the room that I recognize. There are 118 people in this room and only 60 likes. You guys, if you haven't liked this video, go click out of the thing, like it, and then come back into the chat. It's because if you're on your phone, you're in the chat and you aren't able to like it when you're in the chat. Just push the little X and then you'll still see the video, and then go like it and then come back into the chat. Okay? Thanks. All right. So after they have that conversation, she's like, let's go back to the hotel and let's have sex. I'm just like, crazy. So Jess expressed to Colt how much she feels that Debbie doesn't like her, and that, it doesn't matter if she's tired, you don't slam doors. And I agree. Like, I'm a hangry person. I'm somebody who, like, listen, when I'm tired, I'm sleepy, I just say to you guys, listen, I can't. And I stop listening to people and I walk away, So Debbie was just acting a fool. Okay, so Colt has a visit with Debbie. Debbie's out on her veranda listening to the ocean, having breakfast. And breakfast. And so Colt comes out and says, how you doing, sexy lady? To his mother. I'm just kidding. No, he doesn't say that. But I mean, he has called her cute. And she's like, where were you guys? Like, I woke up and you're gone. And he's like, oh, we got another room. We just wanted you to be comfortable. I want you to spend time with Jess because she thinks that you don't like her. And Debbie's like, why would she think that? I was just tired. And Colt's like, yeah, you could be tired, but you don't have to be an asshole. And I was like, oh, they have that relationship. Okay. Okay. So then Debbie says, well, I think I'm a nice person. I don't think that I was being an asshole. Like, I'm a decent human being. And it's just really surprising to me that you guys were talking about having kids and getting married and you barely know her. And Colt's like, I've known her longer than I've known my ex-wife. I guess it's she who must not be named or something, because I don't know why he just didn't say Larissa. Like, we don't all know her name. And so Debbie's like, well, you can't compare it to that. And I'm like, but he can. So if he's known Jess longer than he's known Larissa, then he's already on a better track. So like, why not start talking about kids? Also, I find it so interesting. Isn't Colt like 35? Like, he's not 26, right? He's like in his 30s or like 32, right? So the fact that Debbie doesn't want him having kids, regardless of if it's nefarious reasons or not, I just don't understand this idea of like, I think she just wants to use my son to get her citizenship and come here. But I'm like, you do understand that Colt is not like gonna get married here, right? Like, he's not attracted to the type of woman who would settle for him. So the way he can get the kind of woman that he's truly attracted to is to go to another country and get someone who wants to come to this country. Like, I hate to be a dick about it, but it's really his fault, because I'm pretty sure there are plenty of girls who are out there interested in talking to Colt or being in a relationship with Colt, but those women aren't sexy enough. Those women aren't voluptuous enough to hold his attention. Like the Vanessas of the world. He wants a Vanessa, and he's not going to get an American Vanessa. So he's got to go elsewhere to get that that Vanessa type personality or look or whatever it is that he finds so attractive with South American, specifically Brazilian women. So Debbie's like, I'm just like, Debbie, how are you going to ever how is your legacy going to ever move forward? Is that not something that she cares about? Because I feel like after a certain age, if your parents have sort of certain edicts on who you should be marrying, who you should be having kids with, after a certain age, I feel like everybody's parents just wants grandchildren, and they don't really care who you settle down with or who you have the kid with, unless it's like a crackhead, you know what I'm saying? But like, or like someone who's super abusive. But my thing is if Jess wants to come here and love and sex on Colt and have a couple of his babies, like, what's the big deal? Why is she so anti that? Is she so protective of American soil that she doesn't want it's just such a grandiose thing when like a group of people or a family feel like they shouldn't be the byway or the highway in which an immigrant comes to America. Like, it's their job to be the gatekeepers. And I just think it's so weird. Like, what is that one person going to do? Like, are they some kind of spy? Are they espionage? Like, is it espionage is happening? And like, the Americans have to be very careful if they marry outside of the country because, like, we can't bring a foreigner here because they're going to do something to the American economy that Americans don't already do. Okay, so Fleecy the Sheep Girl says, it was so weird when Debbie talks about Colt's never talked about wanting kids with me. When I read this, Fleecy, it looks like Colt has never talked about wanting kids with me before. It sounds like some kind of incest when you read it, but I know what you're saying, Fleecy. Yeah, it is. It was like, yeah, and I'm just like, why would he have that conversation? Like, Mom, I really want to have kids. Like, maybe you would, right? Because I think there are some daughters who would have that conversation with their mothers. I've certainly had that conversation with my dad about wanting to have kids, but it's just so interesting that Debbie feels so not inclined, but so privileged to be privy to what this person wants. And I get that that's her son who she's lived with and smothered and babied and basically been in a relationship with for the last, 25 years. But maybe he does want kids. And don't you want grandkids? It's so weird to me. It's so weird to me. Okay, so Colt starts talking about the fact that he got a new room because he didn't want Debbie to hear them having sex, and because Jess is loud, and Debbie's like, didn't need to know that, and neither did we. And Debbie is uncomfortable with them talking about their future, and so she feels like she needs to get to know Jess. And so her and Jess go to the beach where Debbie is wearing flannel and jeans and sneakers. And I just think to myself, you couldn't give us like a short sleeve and like some shorts, Debbie? Why would you take flannel to Brazil? I know that it might be like winter there, right? Because they're south. So it's just weird. And so she's on the beach with Jess, who's also like basically covered up too. And Colt or Debbie says something to, Jess to the effect of like, we need to get along. Otherwise we're both going to lose him. And, but well, mainly you're going to lose him because he's my son and I'm not going to lose him. I got that other bitch out. So you're next. And Jess is thinking like, you know what? Larissa might have been right about Debbie. So to me, this is the opportunity that Debbie has to change everything around and make it so that Jess doesn't hold the fact that perhaps what happened between Colt and Larissa wasn't all Larissa's fault. And also, Jess has a plan to get Debbie drunk because she says that she wants to see how Debbie is drunk, how she is loosened up. And so Colt's like, I like to drink. My mom likes to drink. And so we'll be down for it. And then when he says that, like, I'm like, is that why Debbie sounds the way she does? She sounds like she's always just slightly drunk. Well, I don't think that Colt and blah, blah, blah. Like, you know, that's just a little bit of insight. Oh yeah, the guava, says Cassandra. They're like, guava. And I'm like, you guys have never had guava, even though I do love a guava. I love guava. What I don't like is papaya. Guava, I like it. All right, so that's all I have written down about Jess and Colty because I'm not finished watching the episode. I'm only halfway through. So if there's something that I missed about that, go on ahead and put it in the chat and I will circle back and talk about it. So the next couple that we're going to talk about, but not really talk about, girl, is Larissa. Her whole entire segment was stupid and boring. Basically, all that happens is she goes to see her attorney and pretends like she could hold down a regular job, like in any circumstance, like at all. And it's just like, no. She's like, maybe I want to be an attorney. My brother and my sister are attorneys. And maybe I want to work for immigration. Maybe I want to be your receptionist. And she's like, oh, I don't think Adam's wife would want me to be his receptionist. I'm just like, girl, what? And then she's like, well, I'm really not somebody who like pays attention. And I'm just like, what is that life? Like, I have never been that girl. I've never been that girl. I pay attention to everything too much and it gives me anxiety. Okay. And then she meets with Eric and talks about him being cheap and how she wants to get back with him because she's lonely and she's going through a hard time right now and she doesn't want to go through it by herself, but that he needs to stop being cheap and buy her some titties. And he doesn't agree to it, but he just like giggles. And then they talk about like the drama between them before and the reason why her lawyer told her to stop talking to him was because things were happening and they were fighting and she didn't know if those negative things that were happening to her were coming from him and him telling other women about her business. And so her lawyer was like, look, you're already in a lot of trouble. Just dump him, move on, and we'll try to keep you out of trouble by keeping you away from other people. And so I just think that Larissa can't handle it. She's like, I need to be in a relationship. So she gets back with him and the lawyer's like, it's not my job to be in her business, but it is my job to try to help her not get in trouble. Then we find out that for some reason Carmen hates Eric, and if Larissa gets with Eric again, Carmen is going to be pissed off. And so she tells Carmen, and Carmen kicks her out and tells her that she has to the end of the weekend to move out. And so Larissa's like, oh, fuck my life. And I'm like, how devastating must it be to be in your mid-30s and have to have this kind of interaction with a friend? I mean, listen, I'm not above Carmen at all. Like, if you're staying in my house and you're going to have like drama and bring negativity and like an asshole to my home, like you go ahead and move out and live with him. I'm not above Carmen's petty. But like on Larissa's, from Larissa's perspective, I'm like, just like, oh God, if that were me, it wouldn't even be me. What am I talking about? I would never, ever, ever be in that situation. So that's what it's hard for me to have, like, not empathy. I don't know. It's hard for me to put myself in the position of people who make like a series of bad choices to where they end up beholden to someone or like someone is annoyed with their behavior to where it messes up the way they live. Right? That's just never been my thing. Like, if I find that I have a roommate that's annoying, I move. And it's a privilege to be able just to pick up and move and do what I want to do. And I've made choices in my life to where something like that would never happen. So I feel bad for Larissa, but at the same time, I'm just like, girl, like, I guess the need to really be in a relationship is stronger than your need to have a roof over your head. And it looks like when she goes to live with Eric, it's not the happiest thing like she wants to do. She definitely doesn't want to go live with him. It looks like in her confessionals for next week, she kind of rolls her eyes when talks about living with him, or even when like he helps her pack up her stuff and they're in the car on their way to his house. Like she's a little bit like, and I'm like, girl, yeah, you never want to like be indebted to a man like that. All right. So the next couple that we're going to talk about is not even a couple. Let's just talk about how Lo had a very, very clouded and clear at the same time conversation with Asuelu. So Lo's like, all right, we got back from California. It's been a couple of days, and now I need to have that conversation with my son-in-law because he's fucking up. And so he's like, oh, hey, Asuelu, let's go walk the dog. And Asuelu's like, I have nervous because Lo, he never asked me to walk dog. And I was like, oh, shit. So they go and to walk the dog. And Lo's basically like, okay, square up, son. I let this go on long enough. What did you say to my wife? And what did you say to my daughter? And Asuelu's like, you only heard their point of view. You didn't hear my perspective. And I think that I definitely messed up. So what happened is that we were in the car driving, and Lisa asked me what the difference between American women and Samoan women are. And I told her that American women are lazy, and she got upset. And I know I shouldn't have said that. But then it makes me feel like, I don't know, he just said a bunch of words in order that like didn't make any sense in like English sentences. And then he said something about the fact that he tried to translate something and it didn't translate correctly. And so Lo is like, okay, I can understand how that happens. I understand that men of the South Pacific want to run their wives or want to tell their wives what to do, but I raised my daughters to be different. So Asuelu's just going to have to come up with that. Just going to have to deal with that. Also, how come you haven't apologized to Lainey? How come you haven't to Kalani? To Lonnie? How come you haven't apologized to Lonnie? And he's like, I just don't know how to apologize for it. And I'm just like, very good, Asuelu. Say what you got to say, because his fist is about to come straight across your cheek. And I have no doubt that, I don't know how old Lo is, but I have no doubt that Asuelu would not win that fight. And I know that there are people who are like, why does her father need to step in? Like, it's too much. And I'm like, because her father and her mother are already involved in their life too much, because her and Asuelu don't have enough money to live on their own. 1, they're living in their house. 2, like, I think it would be a conversation. Like, here's the deal. If I were to marry a man from Belize, or a girlfriend, a man from Guatemala, Honduras, whatever, right? And things weren't going well, I would never be in the position that she is with him. Like, let's just say I would never be in Kalani's position, but I think I would be like, Dad, I don't understand. Like, why is this person doing this? Like, why can't we connect? And I think that my dad would like explain to me, and he would definitely not be on my side, because there's a part of my dad that's just chauvinistic to the core. But I think at least that he might like have a conversation. Now, would he threaten? No, because I would never be with somebody who talked to me the way Asuelu talks to Kalani, right? That situation I would never ever be in a relationship with anyone, because that's not the first time that Asuelu has talked to her that way, whether it was in Samoa when they first got together, but any hint of that kind of lying bitch kind of shit. Oh, no. Oh, Odessa, thank you so much for the super chat. That just wouldn't be me. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's not the first time he's cussed at her. That's not the first time. You know what I'm saying? So, like, that's why that wouldn't be me, because it would never even get to the point where he would do that. But, like, that's why, like, and if it were the point, that would be, like, a whole conversation about, okay, never again. Never again. But anyways, so that's the end of their conversation. And Lo is like, listen, this is the last time we're going to have this talk, because there will be consequences. You know what I'm saying? There are consequences to your actions. Let me get exactly what he says. What does he say? Consequences, and people can get hurt, is what he says. And so on the surface, it sounds like, you know what, when you say mean things to your spouse, and you say, and you cuss and you do things in front of your kids, there are consequences to that. And those consequences is that maybe Oliver and Kennedy, won't feel stable, because they know their parents are fighting all the time. And you and Kalani won't have the best relationship, and it's going to drive a wedge between you two. And you have 2 kids under the age of 2. Oh, thank you, G. Thank you. I'm in the process of like doing something new. You have no idea. I've broken out like crazy. I think that I'm having a gluten allergy. I've tried everything, so now I'm trying to fix the way I eat, so maybe it'll go away. Anyways, but really what Lo is saying is those consequences and who could get hurt is you, Asuelu. The consequences is me putting my foot up your ass, and you gonna get hurt. So I loved it. It was very smooth. It was a very smooth, like, listen, people are gonna get hurt. There are consequences to your action, and those people is you. And so he says that he's gonna go and apologize to Kalani, and that's all we can hope. But side note, following Kalani, she is going through a really bad depression right now. If you follow her on Instagram, and I wish her love and light, because girl, when I go into a depression and I don't got no kids, I can't imagine having 2 kids and a husband who like shows his ass on TV, girl. I just can't imagine. Okay, so the next couple that we're going to talk about is Michael and Angela. Now, I need somebody to help me decode what's going on with Angela. So first, we have the scene where Michael wakes up Angela, and I was like, is she acting, or did really the camera just come upon her? So they come upon her, she wakes up, and Michael's like, let me get some of that gushy. And she's like, I'm trying to cover up my cooter. And she gets out of bed, and he tries to like be sexy with her and like whatever. And she's like, no, stop it, for real. You're not having sex. I was just like, oh, Angela seems like she's always ready to get down and boogie with Michael. But in that moment, she was not. So she pulls out his suits. Oh, he's Treewa. Thank you so much. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate you. So she's like, here are your suits. Here's one that's white and one that's purple. And Michael is so excited. He squeals. And he's like, these are expensive. And she's like, yeah. And I'm like, what's expensive? Were they like $500 each? Or like $250 each? Because then they come with shoes? If it's a whole package and you got shoes and a whole suit for $250, that is not expensive. That is an amazing deal. How much? How much you guys think they were? $299? She might have spent $600 on those 2 suits. You guys tell me how much you think they were. Like, I mean, what I'm saying is that they weren't expensive. What I'm saying is I think she got a deal. They might have come with a hat and a fake flower. You know what I'm saying? Like, put it down below if you have any idea how much you think those suits were. There was a lot of them. You don't mass produce flamboyant colored suits and sell them for $600 a pop. So how much do you guys think? $350 each, $150 for 2. AJ, rude, $150 for 2. TLC paid. Oh, it's so funny. That Steve Harvey line, BOGO, 2 for 1 for $99. Casket sharp. Transformation. Y'all are so scandalous. So anyways, so she's like, as far as them being expensive. And I was like, girl, those are not expensive. They were a good deal, and I'm happy for you. So he's very excited. He loves the color. And it was just so sweet to see how excited he was. Honestly, I was like, oh, this is cute. It's cute, you know? So then she gets ready, and she's like, it'll take me an hour. And he's like, an hour? And then just kidding. So anyway, she gets ready, and she actually looks cute. I mean, she got her Darcy sunglasses on. I really wonder if Darcy sent her those sunglasses, because Darcy and Stacey were wearing them last season. Like, I mean, obviously Darcy and Stacey, House of 11 is just like knockoffs of whatever brands, right? They just partner with like factories and get a certain amount of product and sell it and put House of 11 on it, right? It's not like they're like designing these things. But that's what I thought. So I thought Angela looked kind of cute for Angela. She had her hair a little curly and crispy, you know what I'm saying, with the sunglasses on. And so she's confused as to why they are going to meet some expats. And he's just like, you know, basically, babe, this is for the segment. Duh. Like, I talked to these people in my first season, and because I'm thinking of moving to America, and they're Americans who have moved back, I want to say defective no, moved back to their country of origin. And I guess in the case of that white chick, she just fell in love with Nigeria so much that she decided just to move. And so it's just like to have an open and honest conversation about like some of the trials and tribulations they might go through. And Angela's just like, how are they going to tell me what's going to happen to you in my house? What are these people going to tell me about you and I? What are they going to tell us about our relationship? And this is like when I'm just like, oh, she is just real. Like, this is a real thing. She's going to be super offended with anything they have to say, which is unfortunate because I feel like Angela is one of those people who, because her daughter had some black kids and because she's probably dated black men and she's cool with the blacks that are on her side of the track or whatever, that thank you so much, Diamond. Thank you for the super chat. Love you, Watu, for $75. So rude. She's gonna deny any of like the racism that goes on in Hazelhurst, Georgia. She's gonna say that it's gonna be fine. You know what I'm saying? Like, she's just one of those like, not racism deniers, but basically because she's cool and she can hang out with anybody, that it's going to be okay for Michael. But she's no idea what it's like to be a black person in Hazelhurst, Georgia. She has no idea what it's like to be a Nigerian who is coming to a country where he's going to have to deal with the racism and systemic like bullshit that has never affected him directly or his people. It's like a completely different culture who has to come to the US and like live in an environment that is not the best for him as far as just like opportunity, seeing people of his own, even his own skin tone, but of his own creed. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's gonna be hard. And she's completely negating that thing, talking about, how are you going to tell us what's going to happen in our house? I'm like, I can already tell you what's going to happen in your house. Like, you are so rude. So anyway, she gets there and it's supposed to be 3 women and 1 guy. I guess the 1 guy is late. She gets there. She sees it's 3 women and she fucking loses her mind. She doesn't lose it in front of them. She says bye to them. She shakes their hands, but they can tell she has an attitude, right? Because she's already immediately threatened. She doesn't want Michael hanging out with women, period, point blank, which is just so bananas to me. It is so bananas. I know a lot of people, especially guys, who feel like guys and girls can't be friends, but it's just bananas to me that like, she doesn't want Michael, like, it's just bananas, you know? And so then she's like, bye, ladies. Thank you for coming, but I'm not going to sit here and do this. And so she gets up and leaves, doesn't hear one word out of their mouth. Then she gets up and leaves and then yells at him like, I mean, I was just like, oh, this is why. Like, I hadn't seen this side of Angela in so long. And Lisa, baby girl Visa, came in and like swept away all of the bad stuff that Angela has done to Michael. And now I'm back here. She's like yelling at him, don't talk to me for the rest of the day. I am done with you. He is confused, but he knows why she's upset. And he's just like, why did you act like that in front of those people? And she's like, them fucking bitches ain't gonna tell me what the fuck is gonna happen in my house. And that, I always have had my suspicions about Angela and baby girl Visa and certain women, like certain women of their age range who are just so anti-woman that it's weird to me. So she was willing to sit down and listen to a man tell her what issues he might have in America, but she's not willing to listen to women tell her that because she's immediately threatened by them and feels like she can do a better job teaching him and guiding him through his American journey because nobody can tell her what happens in her house. Girl, we can tell you what happens in your house because it's on TV. And I'm pretty sure that they've seen your episodes of 90 Day Fiancé. Like, Michael is moving into like hillbilly heaven. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's moving into he's moving into something he's not even ever seen on TV unless he's watched Honey Boo Boo. You know what I'm saying? Like, That is what he's moving into. He's not moving into anything else that he's seen on TV about America. Unless it's Duck Dynasty or something. And them is rich hillbillies. So anyways, it's so annoying to me. So she gets a really bad call from Skyla. Skyla's saying that the Meemaw is just talking all kinds of craziness. And Angela's saying that that's the dementia. So all of a sudden her brain switches over into being super worried about the fact that she left her mother back in the US. Thank you so much, Crystal, for the super chat. Thanks for liking my hair. And it's just a lot on her. And so they pull over, they get out of the car, and she's just saying, Michael, are we gonna work? Like, is this gonna work? And she's the most honest that I've ever seen her. And so it kind of makes me feel like I forgive her for her outburst. But I know even when her mother wasn't having issues, she still acted like that. You know what I'm saying? Like with the Yahoo, not Yahoo boys, but with what she called them, his friends, the same way. Like she's not interested in advice or words of wisdom from anybody. And it's just so terrible. It really is. Okay, so that's the end of them. Oh, Candy, thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciated you. I'm glad that you caught the live as well. I'm doing my best, you guys, trying to get these videos out. But here's a little break before we talk about Libby and Andrei. I need to save a lot of money because I'm all of a sudden in my mind, I'm like, I have to jumpstart my savings. Like, what have I been doing? So I've decided that I'm going to put out feelers to see if I could get some sponsored videos so that I can get the videos out to you on a timely manner, because I will be being paid per video. So it's more of an incentive to put on these lights and actually film a video as opposed to going live. I do enjoy going live with you guys, but a part of me feels like I cheat you by going live. So anyways, there's that. So if you see a lot of sponsored stuff coming up, or you see me doing new series, it's because I'm really trying to like do what. Oh my God. What is in okay? Oh, Norway. Thank you for that 55. I don't know what. Thank you. Oh my God. Thank you so much, Hodo. Thank you. I appreciate that. Super chat so much. You are the best. Lots of love from Norway. I'm a big fan. Oh, thank you. I really appreciate the super chat. I really, really do. I love you guys too. You guys are great. This is a really great community. 431 people in this room and only 155 likes, girl. Can I get some likes? Don't forget, can I get some likes? Don't forget, you have to go out of the chat if you're looking at it on your phone and then come back in. What time is it? I'm like, oh, like I don't got to go to work. 100% have to go to work. Okay. Thumbs it up. Thank you, KMO. Okay. So anyways, if you see that, that's what's happening. Like I'm trying to save and get out of debt and do all those responsible things. You know what I'm saying? So anyways. Okay. Let's talk about Andrei and Libby. So first we start off with Andrei driving stick in Moldova and Libby being like, whoa, and Andrei being like, Libby, it's hard for me to drive, stick in this country. And I'm just like, Andrei, stop making excuses. You're this big, bad Moldovan dude who's supposedly be able to do anything ever in this entire world. And you can't even handle driving stick in your own country. You've only been in the US for what, 5 years? You drove stick in Ireland, no? Anyways, so Grandpa's in the back seat with Eleanor because that is his child, okay? That is his child. Every time I see Eleanor, she is with her grandfather. The grandmother is there somewhere, but the grandfather, he's like, look, I seen you when you came out the hospital. You and I have a bond and a connection. You are mine. I love you the most. So, oh, ciao. Hello, Cecina. Okay, so also, every time I hear Romanian, it literally sounds like a mix between what I hear in my brain as Russian language. It makes me, hi, Vanessa, thank you so much. It's just like, it's like, like it's just like the sound of it is very Russian and like Russian, and then it's like Italian. It's just so interesting that I'm just like, maybe I could learn it quick. Like carne, they said, which is Italian. There was a couple of words that I picked up, and I was just like, that's why Libby's able to pick it up. I don't know if she speaks any other language, but anyways, Libby with the Romanian flex, girl. Like, is the baby asleep? Okay, girl, learn that language. Yes, sis, learn that language. I love it. So, the baby's in the backseat with the grandfather asleep. They're going to see venues, and the first venue they see is like trash, right? And obviously they're doing this because this is part of TLC. We're setting this up to give different venues to look at. So they can't just go to the perfect one first. They got, it's like, picking the dress or whatever. Oh my God. Thank you, Alex. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it. Oh, #1 fan. Thank you. Thank you so much. You guys are great. So anywho, Ellie says, just so you guys, Ellie says, Romanian and Moldova is different than the one in Romania. The theory is the same, but in Moldova, the language is spoken with a very heavy Russian accent. Huh. Interessante. That's actually quite interesting. I would like to hear it differently, I would like to hear the Romanian spoken in other countries versus the Romanian spoken in Moldova. Also, what do they speak in Ukraine? Isn't it Romanian as well? Or is it Russian? I don't know. But anyways, I'll look it up. You don't have to tell me. I'll Google it. Yvette or Lynette, thank you so much for the super chat. You're so awesome. Keep up the good work. I love watching you. Thank you so much, Lynette. I appreciate it. Okay. Oh, they speak Ukrainian? Thanks, Ellie. I'm dumb. That's fine. It's fine. I'm going to learn these things. This is why I watch 90 Day Fiancé, to learn shit, Okay. So they go to this first venue, and Libby's like, lock the door. And he's like, they're fine. They're in there with my dad's in there. He's like, lock the door. And I'm just like, why? Why does, like, did you leave them the keys? Why can't you just leave the dad the keys? Why does the door need to be locked? Listen, you're not locking me in any car, okay, in any country. So that was a crazy request on her end. And she's like, I'm just trying to be protective of our child. And I'm like, am I missing something? The part of Moldova that they're in doesn't look like aggressive or bad at all. It looks very cute and quaint. I mean, I don't know it, but I'm just saying. And then they go to the first venue, which is in a strip mall that is a casino at night. And so obviously she's like, this place is tacky. And instead of being able to test the food and try the food, there's just pictures of food. And the woman is like, Americans like this food. And so Libby is very concerned that her family is not going to try the food because it looks weird. And I was trying to think whether or not I would do that. And so here's the skinny. Not all Garifuna food do I enjoy. I don't know if it's my American tongue. I don't know what it is, but not all of it do I enjoy. So would I have Garifuna food at my wedding? Yes. Not a lot of it, though. Only the ones that I like. So my thing is that if she likes Moldovan food and knows that it tastes good, then she just needs to have that conversation with her family. Right? Oh, thank you, Indie Girl. Thank you for the super chat. I think she just needs to have that conversation with them. It's like, hey, I've tried these dishes. They're actually really good. You're not going to recognize them. I know they look different, but go on ahead and eat it. And this is my thing, is if foreigners from another country come to the US for a wedding, and it's American wedding, would we not feed them American food? Right? Like, so why is it that Libby's like, will they fry chicken? Or will they bring something that looks American? It's just so like imperialistic. And it's just like, I feel like I see a hand of America just like crawling across the world to where Americans can go to another country and feel entitled to ask for American food there. So Andrei's like, sure, they can go to McDonald's. There's a McDonald's across the street. And I agree with him. This is his Moldovan wedding. He is going to have his favorite food there and his family's favorite food there. And the 6 or 7 people that's coming from her family can just fucking chill and eat it, or don't eat, or go to McDonald's. That is honestly the way I think about it. Like, I'm just like, why wouldn't you go to someone's country and eat their food? Like, I mean, I get, like, to me, like, if you're going to like an Asian country and you don't eat fish, okay. Or you don't eat spicy food, okay. Like, you know what I'm saying? I get that. But like, I'm not saying you eat the dishes that you wouldn't normally eat in your own country. I'm saying I could see if her family was vegan and she's like, I need vegan options. That is different than saying the food looks weird. I don't know if my family is going to eat it. I like it, but I don't know if they're going to eat it. So then they need to go find food else. Because if you like it, then they should like it too, because you have the same American home. It's only like, oh, Amanda brings up a good point, but her family is paying, so I thought he was out of line. But her family is paying. This is why I like having these discussions with you guys. Valid points. Valid points. Shouldn't Andrei consider his father-in-law who is paying for it? Yeah, you're right. You're right. You are right. You are absolutely right. Okay. Let me just take that in. Let me take that in, because I was just so on my high horse about it. Okay. Let me just take a sip of water and think about it. Sia says yes, but they should still understand that this is the Moldovan wedding and they already had the American wedding. Mickey says, Googled, meat and fish are often marinated and then grilled. Lynn J says, did we find it what he did in his past to leave? Oh, I have no idea. I don't know what happened. Okay. But anyways. Oh, hello, Oyumi. Or is it Uyumi? Tell me what it is. You can write it phonetically. Hi, guys. All right. So that took the wind out of my sail. Thank you very much for that. No, but yeah, you guys are absolutely right. So the McDonald's comment is a little rude. But then they go to the next. Oh, no. Before they go to the next venue, Andrei loses his mind by telling Libby that she's hangry and that she just needs to eat before they go to the next venue so she won't go there with such negative energy. And so she's just like, listen, we are filming a reality show. They asked me a question and I'm answering it. And so she starts to do her line again and he interrupts her because he's upset and he starts to yell. And she's just like, can I finish my sentence? And he's just like, and she's just like, I didn't like the blah, blah, blah. And she's just like, okay, I can't. I'm out of here. Okay, I'm walking away. And he's like, oh, where are you going? Okay, you want to walk home? Fine. Okay, you use your feet. That's it. I'm just like, Andrei has like taken his chauvinistic machismo behavior to the next level. And it's just so unnecessary. It's so unnecessary. So she takes a moment, she chills out, and then she comes back. And then they go to the next venue, which the next venue is perfect. And he's so annoyed that the next venue is something that she likes. But what I love are the people who show them around to the next venue. They can sense the tension. And so the two ladies are just so lovely. They're very, very chatty. And they get Libby and Andrei to dance with each other to try to like break up the tension and make sure that everything is okay. And that, you know, that they're having a good time. They're trying foods. So they bring out the dishes for them to try. Libby loves it. They're having a good experience. Andrei has to throw in the fact that he feels some kind of way because he has to translate and he's not able to be the groom that he wants to be. So it's just like, Andrei. Oh, Aspasia says, why are you watching Maths or The Other Way? I am watching The Other Way. I just haven't like had the energy to like sit down and talk about it. Maybe I will. You know, The Other Way is just like, I can't wait. The Other Way is good. I think that Jihoon and Devin are good. I think that Yazan and Brittany are interesting. I need to watch Armando and whatever his name is. But yeah, I don't. Jenny and Sumit. I just gotta catch up. You know, I didn't watch this week's episode. Maybe I will do like a live about it next week. Huh. Anyways, get back to Andrei. Thank you, though. I'll look into it, doing it. Okay, so Andrei is like wanting his cake and eating it too. He wants Chuck to pay for it, but he also wants to be a big bully jerk face. And it's just annoying. So Libby likes the food. Andrei likes the food. It's good. They're going to choose that venue. And it's really not that expensive. Like he said, it's like, it's like 6,000 total, which doesn't seem like it's that expensive. I thought that they were going to spend like 25 to 30K on this wedding. And if the venue, or at least the food of the venue, is only, well, I guess that's a lot if it's just the food of the venue. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Anyways, so there's that. That's good. The next scene that they have, they choose that venue. She's very happy. He says sorry to her when he interrupts her during the like confessional part of it, and she's just like, "Whoa, did you just say you're sorry to me?" And he's like, "Shut up." And I'm just like, God, Andrei, you can't just be the good guy at all. Like you just have to be a bulldozer and make her feel like she's this like lazy American woman, and now you're back in your country where women should behave like they should. It's just annoying. And then so they have a walk in the park with the grandparents, and Andrei is, it's like he doesn't want his family to like her family. He wants them to feel the exact same way. And I just don't think it serves anybody. So he translates this very like inappropriately, in my opinion. He says like the family's like, oh, you know, her family, sorry, they go to a park, and it's the park that he used to play in as a child, saying he used to break windows. And she's like, are you serious? And he's like, I just wanted to see if you were listening. And it's like, no, Andrei, I definitely think you used to break windows for fun. You seem like that kind of little idiot, asshole kid. And his family, his mother asks Andrei, like, if her family is going to be like good in Moldova, like, are they going to like it here? And so Libby says that she doesn't know, because they are a little bougie at times. But she likes Moldova and she thinks it's great. And so Andrei translates that into the family have very high American standards. And so basically, loose translation, like what I'm saying to you guys, is basically they may or may not like Moldova because they like new American things, and Moldova is small and old and ugly. Like, and the mother like takes offense to that and is just like, well, I mean, it may be old, but we love our country. And, you know, there's nothing wrong with Moldova. And she even asked Andrei if it's something that he would want to like move back, or if he misses Moldova. And it's just like this weird thing where he won't say, yeah, I'm not going to move back here. Like, I'm in a country where like there's opportunity. The houses are new. Like, my life is great in America. I'm not going to move back here. And it's just really interesting. You know, it's an interesting thing that he doesn't want to necessarily say. Like, he likes Moldova, and I'm pretty sure that he loves his parents' apartment or whatever, but why would he move back to Moldova when he's living the good life off of Chuck in the US and they have a whole house to themselves, you know? Yeah. You know, there are some places in the US where having a house is a bigger deal than others. Like in New York City, having a house is a bigger deal, right? Because most people live in apartment buildings. But it's not necessarily like having a house means that you're like better than anyone else. It's just, they're more expensive, right? And then, but in the South, like certain places, like my aunt lives in South Carolina, and everyone has a house, and every house is like far apart from each other. And houses are relatively cheaper. So most people live in houses. And so it just kind of like interesting that that's the kind of, it seems like I have I have a thought in my mind that when people of a certain age live in apartments instead of living in a home, that perhaps apartments are more of the norm than having a home, like in New York City, you know? And so it's like, maybe he likes having more space in the US, but instead of just saying like the differences and like what he finds valuable in the US, he makes it seem like her family's just going to come to Moldova and just like look down and sneer on everything. And that's not fair. I don't like that. I don't like that. Oh yeah, definitely, Keisha. He did say I don't have to work in the U.S., so why would I come someplace where I have to work? So oh, that's where I'm at right now. So it's like there's this like weird tension, and then after that, Andrei ends up going to dinner with his brother, and oh no, sorry, they have the baptism. And again, I want to know what religion Libby is. I thought I heard her say that she was Baptist. And I find it very interesting that someone who is Baptist can go into a Christian Orthodox church and be confused. Like a Catholic Orthodox, like I just can't imagine it. Like I grew up in the Black church, right? Specifically AME. I've been to some masses, right? Some Catholic masses, boring as all hell compared to the Black church, right? But it's the same fucking book. Like it's the same book. So it's just a slightly different interpretation. Like, do I go into a Catholic church going like, statues of Jesus with like blood coming out of the side and blah? Like, do I do that? Do I look at the Pope's costume and say like, he's wearing a beautiful gold robe, like or dress? Like, I don't do any of those things. So I think it's so weird to me when different sects of Christianity get around more conservative sects of Christianity and act like they don't know what the hell is going on. Like, oh, do the women need to wear head wraps or do the men need to wear stuff over their head? And I'm like, girl, like, now you're like, it's just, I don't know. Does anyone understand what I'm saying? Does anyone understand what I'm saying? That like, there is so much shit talk about other religions that have women wear things on their head. And it's crazy because in Christianity, there are sects of Christianity that have women wear no makeup. They can't wear pants. They can just wear long dresses. They have to cover their head when they go into church. Like, and it's still that thing of like, oh, you're degrading women and you're doing this and that. And it's just so weird to me that she's just like so confused. And then it happens. She's like, I don't know what's going on. I don't know what I'm giving myself over to. Like, and I'm just like, girl, like, what do you mean? You're being baptized. Are you so removed from your own religion that you don't know what a baptism looks like? You don't know like when people do extra things in baptism? Like, it's just weird to me. Amanda says, I don't get family ever left their Baptist community. I don't know. The Baptist church that I've been to, I really can't even think of any Baptist church that I've gone to. Like, I don't honestly know the difference between Baptists, Methodists, and Episcopals. Like, I don't know what they're, like, I know Methodists and Episcopals do a certain type of, like, prayer thing that happens in the beginning. Like, I really don't know the difference, right? But I know what a baptism looks like when you dunk the whole body in. I know what a baptism looks like when you just do the baby's head over like a little shrine. Like, and I've seen people jumping in water. Like the Baptists that I've seen have been like dunked in water. So like, I don't understand why she's so confused. But anyways, so she's acting weird and she's basically saying she's going through this thing that's so weird, and it gets done and she puts makeup on, they go out to eat, and she doesn't wear the cross. And he's like, you have your cross on. And she's like, oh no, I didn't know I needed to keep it on. And he's like, yes. And so he gets mad at her. His family gets mad at her. And she's like, well, you didn't tell me. You didn't tell me I needed to keep it on. Why would I keep this thing on? Like, I already did the thing. It clashes with what I'm wearing. I'm not going to ever wear a wooden cross on a piece of string around my neck as jewelry. So if I need to keep it on, you need to say something. And I'm completely on her side at this point. It's like I'm annoyed with her during the baptism, but I'm not annoyed with her at this dinner, because then her sister-in-law starts to say that like she needs to follow the man more, and it says that the women are the neck and men are the brains, and the neck tells the brain what to do, and she's not being a good neck. And I was just like, I don't like this whole conversation. I don't like the way this is going. I don't like any of this. And I feel like the brother needs to do more translating, because I feel like he is a better translator than whatever his name is. What's his name? Andrei. All right. Are we done? Did we get through it? I didn't talk about Tanya and Sinjin because, girl, like, who cares? Those people should not have gotten married. Like, Sinjin's going to basically tell Tanya that he doesn't know if he really even wants to be here anymore. He's that homesick. Like, he's basically talking about jumping ship. Like, times got hard. He's over it. His brother's sick. He wants to go home. He doesn't know if he's coming back. Like, and I get Tanya's being, like, really worried about it. But, like, Quasi says the man coming out of the rib is Catholic. Eve was made from Adam's rib. I feel like that's not even just Catholic, Mickey. That is any Christian religion. Like, I mean, they are quick to throw that out at us. It's like, oh, well, women came from men. And I'm like, but actually, biologically, men came from women. So, I just don't, like, I'm not going to go into, like, theology and, like, breaking down my old religions, like, ideologies or whatever, because I don't want to offend anybody in this chat room. But girl, like, it doesn't make any sense for a woman to come from a man. It just doesn't. Like, it doesn't. Then why aren't men the ones who have babies? Why would a woman, like, that whole thing doesn't make any sense to me. Okay, I'm done. I don't talk about it. Okay. Oh no, he did mention that. I know he did. And it's just like, don't say things that don't make sense to me. Like, don't use that as your argument. Like, you can't use that as an argument to me, because that doesn't make sense. It sounds like some patriarch bullshit. Sounds like something a man made up. Like, women come from men, but women are the ones that are going to have babies from now on. Doesn't make any sense. Anyways, doesn't make sense. And I don't like when people say things like that as, like, arguments. I'm like, no. Thank you, Amy. Layla, I can't have my glasses on. Layla says in the Bible there are two Adam and Eve stories next to each other. Oh, different sects of Christians have many different beliefs. Yes, but I don't think that they have different beliefs. I think they have different interpretations. So Tessa, if you want to, like, expound on that a little bit more, just to give some ideas of what you're talking about. I think they have different interpretations of it. Like, I think it's the same thing, it's just interpreted differently. You just got to go, okay, that's your interpretation of it, which is why they're different sects to begin with. Which I'm just like, I feel like you should be whatever sect works best for you. If you want to be in a sect that tells you you don't wear any makeup and you just wear long skirts, live it. If you want to be in a sect where, you can sin and then just go tell a priest your sins and you're absolved, be in that one. Jill, I'm about to leave. Thank you, Adriana. Okay. Or, like Fleecy the Sheep Girl says, just go what you think is right. Exactly. Okay, so I think that's it, right? Does anyone have anything to say? Here we go. Another moderator just handled it. Catholics believe that Virgin Mary maintained her virginity. Protestants believe that she had more children with Joseph. Oh, Renee! I didn't know that. Yeah, I think that she had more children. I didn't think she remained her virginity. I didn't think she retained her virginity. I didn't know. Oh, how interesting. Is that why they call her the Virgin Mary? Not just Mary? Oh, thank you, Ramsterdam. Thank you. That's so interesting. I guess I should ask Chris about like what Catholics believe versus what other sects believe because she's Catholic. Huh, that's so interesting. Oh, Keisha, the kitchen looks so good. Thank you so much. I'm gonna update it again. Like we just got a new tabletop. My mom didn't like the tabletop that we had, and we still don't have the cushion for the bay window. And all of the paper is still on all the chairs. I have to go rip it off because it's just like, why is this paper still on this chair? We're sitting on the chairs, but the bases of them still have like the paper around them. So it's like, can you be more of a black mom? Like, I'm not sitting on something that still has the plastic on it. Perhaps Angela should become Catholic. Okay. That is it, you guys. An hour and 5 minutes. We did it. We made it through the wilderness. We made it through the wilderness. Somehow we made it through. Thank you guys so much for joining this live, for allowing me to take an hour of your day. I appreciate all of the super chats that I got today. You guys are very lovely and supportive of me. There will be videos coming my way. Like I said in the middle of this video, I'm thinking about doing some reaching out to companies to do sponsored videos. So sponsored videos will be coming your way. So if you see a sponsored video, click on the link. I'm not saying you need to buy anything, but click on the link, support your girl if you can. And yeah. That's it. All right, you guys. Have a fantastic day. And remember to be you, be true, and find your place. Bye. Thank you to my moderators, Lynn J. and Mickey, otherwise known as Quasimodem. Who else was in here as a moderator? I think it was just those two. Somebody was in here earlier, I think. But I want to thank all of you guys for your opinions. I learned a lot today. I'm learning a lot from you guys at all times. And yeah, follow me on Instagram at justcallmewa. If you are interested, if you're interested, call me. There we go. And yeah, you guys have a fantastic weekend as well. Bye.